This is the Kwik-Lift system from Equipment for Garages, and more specifically, it is the 2.5 ton lifting version, which if you're going to look it up online, is the KL 2500 AC, because this is the 220 volt mains version, and they do a 12 volt version as well, which could be very useful if you're a mobile mechanic and you want to carry this around in the back of your van, because it is fully portable. Or more to my sort of thinking, if you're going to a track day, this could be very handy to have in the car park to get your car off the ground, change your brake pads, things like that as you're doing a track day. We've had this system here now for about a month. It's been getting good use in Charlie's valet bay. He's been using it to lift cars up, take wheels off. We can take them to be refurbed while he polishes them in the meantime, and brings those cars at a nicer working height. So I thought it was about time we do a quick little review and walkthrough with you. So what you're going to get for your money is 2 of these lifting beams. They basically got a scissor system in here. They will lift up and they do travel in a bit of a direction, something you have to remember. We'll check that out when we actually lift with it. And these give you a 460 millimeter lifting height. So it's a sort of mid-rise, certainly high enough to get wheels off, do suspension parts, things like that, do servicing, make life a lot easier, and especially handy if you have got a kind of low roof garage. If you want to use this at home, this is the perfect thing, because it's not going to try and put your car through the roof. It's just a nice little working height in order to be able to get wheels off, do your brakes, stuff like that. You will also get your hydraulic pump with your controls and your hoses, and you get a set of 4 lifting blocks as well. This thing, as I say, is completely portable. So this end serves as a handle. You do have some caster wheels on the end, so you can drag it around like that. But it also has a set of casters all the way around, so you can just slide it in any direction. Which, for me, someone who's quite lazy, very ADHD, and hates lining things up perfectly on a ramp, is quite convenient, because you can pull this out of the way, drive your car in, and you move the ramp to the car to get it lifted. The other feature I really like is that you can see that we are not connected to our hydraulic pump at the moment, and that is because they have quick detach systems, and you can jack your car up, leave it up. Perhaps, like we say, you want to take wheels off to have them refurbed. Perhaps you want to use it for a bit more long-term storage and you want to get this hydraulic pump out of the way. You can do that. You just use like quick release fittings, a bit like using an air fitting on a compressor, and they are valves, so you're not going to leak your hydraulic fluid out. Means they're just like really versatile. It also means that when you want to load this in the back of a car, you would quite easily get these in an estate car, that you just disconnect them, close them off, put your protective little covers on, dust covers to stop them getting mucky, and you can load them in the car. You're not going to have to drain out all the hydraulic fluid and then pump it back in. It's just a plug-and-play system, and it is really, really handy. That probably pretty much covers everything that you'll find in most other videos that you will find on the Kwik-Lift. I want to run through a few things that might make it a bit more useful for you, figuring out whether it's going to work with your car or not, or whether it's going to work with you or not. Things like, how heavy is it? If you're talking about chucking it in the back of the car, which you can physically do, if you're strong enough. The whole thing in total, they say, is about 100 kilos, which is quite a heavy weight. Each one of these, supposedly, is 40 kilos. So, considering, you know, you're of reasonable strength, and you're reasonably fit, that's not too heavy for most people, really. So, it's not the lightest thing in the world, but quite easy for most people to pick up off the ground, making sure you're lifting it correctly. I'm not getting involved with that. And chuck it in the back of your car. And that would make this bit around about 20 kilos. It's really not too heavy at all. The next thing with these is how long are they? Again, you're going to find it in the specifics. They're about 1.75 meters long when they're in this collapse state. What actually happens is when they go up, it will kind of roll forward, because we've got 2 bits that are collapsing down like this and rolling back up. What we probably, or you probably want to know, and I would like to know, is what are my kind of like jacking options when it comes to putting these blocks in, which do very conveniently fit in these little cups that they've made. What is our minimum and maximum kind of like jacking position? Because that is all going to vary depending on your car. Get my trusty, very cheap tape measure out here. But going from end to end of the actual lifting platform is 100 and, well, if we talk about where we've actually got the rubber pads, we are looking at 143 centimeters, so 1,430 millimeters. What I'll do from there is I'll move it to wherever we can get it. You might want to like skip through this bit, it could get boring, but we might also put it in the notes. 138 centimeters is going to be in this one. Then the next one, when you jump, you're going to be at 124 to 119. So they're your variants. This one is a longer pocket, so you can slide that all the way up and down. Hopefully, if you've got something a bit awkward, you can use this to, you know, figure out exactly how it is going to work with yours. But essentially, the shortest from end to end of these rubber blocks is 104 centimetres. So that is going to be your lifting options with it in this setting, which is quite good. It works quite well with hatchbacks, smaller cars. And the good news is if you do have a bigger car, then they do extensions as well. Perhaps 2.5 ton is going to be enough for you. You've got an estate car, but you want some kind of like longer jacking points. They will sell those, they are available. And you can buy these in heavier weight capacity as well. So that's probably enough waffle until we get lifting. And I can tell you the kind of lockout heights. I'm going to quickly connect this, and I think we should just put it up without a car on it so you can see exactly how they operate from side on, well, from every angle. Maybe we'll set them at different angles. And you'll know what to expect before we bring a car in, slide them under and get it up in the air. So as I say, you've got your quick connection things on here. On the female end, which is the actual kind of moving fitting, you have a male plastic connector that goes in there. It's going to be important that you make sure you put those back in every time you're moving it, because if these get full of grit and dust and wood chips and all that sort of stuff from your garage, it's not going to seal very well, and then you're going to have problems. You're going to have oil leaking everywhere. So one of these for each ramp, fairly self-explanatory really. And I'll show you just how easy it is to do them. So you've got your male end and we've got the female end, which has got the actual connector on it. Just need to pull back the collar. In fact, I don't know whether you can just push these tight. No, you do have to pull the collar back. I think the best way to do this to make sure that you know that you've definitely sent it home is to kind of get it here and then just push until you feel it click over. And then we'll do the same on the other one. Now, while I say these are oil tight, they do have filters, you will end up getting a little bit of hydraulic fluid on your hands, so it might be well worth using gloves or washing your hands now. It's really only mineral oil. It's probably not going to do a huge amount of damage, but your skin may be different to some, so just be aware. So we'll look at this one sideway on so you can see how it's going to move forward. The reason I think this is well worth mentioning is because if you park your car perfectly inside your garage with the garage door up against the front bumper and then you go to lift your car, well, you'll see what happened. So I've plugged it into the mains. 13 amp regular household socket is going to be perfectly fine for this. And we have our controller, which is nicely labelled up and down, and we'll go up. Right, so that is us about our maximum height. And as you can see, as I suggested, the whole thing moves forward probably by about 12 to 18 inches. So it's something you need to take into account. Despite the dog doing some yoga there and looking like he's really bored, actually doesn't take that long at all. What you'll notice is these red arms, which are red for a reason because they're your safety lock. Are you going to get in the way, are you? I'm trying to explain to them, not you. You stay over there and you can watch. So you'll notice that it's got a hook on the bottom here, essentially, and as that goes forward, it's going to latch over each of these settings. So our top one, as I said, is going to leave you at 460 millimeters. So worth noting, actually, with the blocks on, it adds about another 15 mil, so it's slightly higher than that. And the one further back is 310 millimeters. But once you've got to this stage and it's clicked over, that's when you're going to go back down again. And as it goes down, it's going to hook in, which means that this physically, even if you were to hold this down, even if someone was to chop your hoses in half out of spite, there is no way that can come down and do any damage because it is physically locked by this bar. Then, if you want to go up again, you're going to power it up. It will go over. What you need to do is lift your bar, and that sets your kind of guide for it to go back down over again. And it's going to take a little while longer unladen without a car on there. But you'll see that now with that kind of guide flipped over, it will just hop back over those safety steps, so you don't have to keep going to each one. Just flip it over once and it will go down. Right, that is all the facts and figures and boring stuff that I usually hate out of the way. I'm going to push these to either side. We'll bring in a car and we'll actually demonstrate the kind of lifting height you get and what that looks like and what it's going to be like to actually do some work on a car. So as I say, it has got wheels, so it's really easy. Me being lazy, I usually just push with a foot. There we have it, one very dirty Audi TT. Maybe like you've got in your garage. Right, that is perfectly under the two jacking points, front and rear on both sides. I want to do something where we mark the front of this car, just to really drive home the point that it is going to move when you lift it. Right, I'm going to leave an old mower blade just in line with the bumper there, and we'll see as it goes up how much it moves. So there we are. That is it at its maximum lifting height, which is actually pretty good. We put it back onto its security locks. We can give it a good wiggle and see that it's not going anywhere. It's important that we are on a level floor. That would make a difference if yours wasn't. But as you can see, that is pretty darn secure and a very good working height. If you want to get down here, whip wheels off, do your brakes, sit on the floor, you have got plenty of room to do that. And compared to scrabbling around on the floor, this is going to make a world of difference. As you can see, again, like I say, it's about 12 inches, 18 inches. It has moved forward. That said, if you do want to park your car right up against the garage door, you can use them the other way around. Just remember which way they're going to go. It could push it backwards, essentially. What I will do quickly is I'll lift it up, take the security locks off, and we'll put it down to its first stop, 310 mil. Which might not even get the tyres off the ground on this car. It seems quite soft suspension, but on something else, maybe something with stiffer suspension, it might work a bit better. So this is the safety latch we were talking about. This automatically, as it goes up, is designed to flip itself round so that it will latch. And once you've lifted it up, this kind of egg-shaped thing will drop over, allowing it to go over. If you want it to catch on the way back down, you've gone from the higher setting, now you want to go to the lower, just need to flip it up, but make sure it's all the way up. And then you just carry on down and it will latch in both sides. And I was wrong, our wheels, that one won't spin because the handbrake's on, but as you can see, you are still clear off the ground. If you want to save your back a little bit and take those wheels straight off, maybe it's even better doing it that way. Get the wheels off at a lower height and then you can pump it back up. One more thing I should demonstrate while we're here is the fact that I said that you could remove these hoses and the lift wouldn't drop. Some of you won't have believed me. All you got to do is take your hydraulic fitting, pull that back, and they're separate. The car hasn't hit the ground and exploded. It would sit there forever because it's not actually held on the hydraulics anymore anyway. Despite this having a safety valve, it's now held on that safety bar. One other thing, got a very convenient situation here, is worth pointing out. Sound-wise with this as well, maybe you work in your garage and you're going to annoy your neighbours. Maybe you've got a garage in in a coach house setup, someone's living above your garage. It's really not that loud. The dog is literally willing to sleep next to it as we operate it. It's as quiet as ramps get, really. We'll get this car off, we'll get it outside, and I'll wrap up on talking to you about the Kwik-Lift. So that is about it for the very quick review on the Kwik-Lift. A couple of other things I want to mention. As I said, there are extender plates, so you can lift with a longer lifting base. There are also cross braces you can buy. The thing that interests me the most is obviously we've got a motorbike over here on a little foot hydraulic bike ramp, but there is a conversion kit that you can buy as well for this, so you can have a powered bike ramp for getting up, doing your service in the garage. If you're doing customization and stuff like I like to do, that would be quite cool. So in conclusion, for the money, these are £995 on equipment for garages plus VAT. I think they're an absolute bargain, especially if you are a VAT registered business, you can claim that money back. £1,000 for a ramp like this that will lift 2.5 tonne and is fully mobile, I think it's an absolute bargain. And my favourite thing probably is just the ease of use. This is, for me, it's probably easier to use than a 2-post ramp. You just slide the things under where you want it and you pump it up. So if you are in the market for that sort of thing, then definitely check out Equipment for Garages. They did send us these out for free, but this isn't a sponsored video. It wasn't on the basis of, could you do a review for us at all? In fact, as I said, we've probably had them for a month or two now. I just thought we would review them because we've been really impressed with them. Even Charlie can use them. That's where they're normally living, is in Valet Bay, and he's got on fine with them, and that's a struggle for most things. Just kidding, Charlie. But hopefully you found some use in that, and there's a little bit more in there than you might have seen in some of the other videos that I checked out before we did this. But hopefully you found some of that useful. I tried to add in some bits in there of real case use and some measurements and things that I couldn't find in other videos when I researched this. So let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know whether you're going to grab yourself one or whether it's something you would use. Personally, for me at home, I think this would be spot on. And if you're here because you do like tools, garage equipment, things like that, then definitely check out feelgoodcompetitions.com. That's our competition site that has a charity element to it. And we have all kinds of tools and things on there at the moment. We don't have any Kwik-Lifts at the moment, but I will speak to Equipment for Garages. Maybe we can get one of these going. So I think that'll probably be quite a popular competition. Other than that, make sure you've subscribed. You can click up here to do that. And if you want to watch another video where we review something, then you can do that down here. But that's it for this time. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.